Hello, this is Microphone Media. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Hello, this is Microphone Media. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Hello, this is Microphone Media. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.
For making his visit to Tigray first priority. I know Ambassador Marisho was also very intent on supporting us in many projects, and it shows how seriously the French government is in supporting peace and stability in this region, and of course in helping us address the challenge that we continue to face because of the failure to fully implement the cessation of hostilities agreement. We still have a number of issues that are unresolved, including the return of IDPs and the withdrawal of non-END forces from, including, of course, Eritreans in many parts of Tigray. I will probably walk you through some of the challenges, but it would suffice for me to say this by way of introduction. By the way, as you can see, this was a result of a drone attack during the war. Interestingly, Chief Obasanjo had to climb the stairs 8 times here, and one of those times I had to see him off at the airport, and on our way back, the drone attacked. And so the first experience we had was with the Turkish ambassador who came to visit here, and he asked me what, and he said, well, it's Turkish drones who did it. So we haven't been able to rehabilitate this part of the building, but as you can see, we have a funny spectacle where I have to deal with. But the war, all in all, has not only destroyed infrastructure, but more importantly, caused the loss of hundreds of thousands of lives, and that is something we still continue to suffer from, with 1 million plus people internally displaced and living in squalid conditions. The challenge that the interim administration faces are quite enormous, and the kind of support the French and other partners have been providing is quite instrumental, not only in alleviating the suffering of our people, but more importantly, making sure that the cessation of hostilities agreement is implemented. Because the idea of maintaining peace is of paramount importance for us. We want to maintain peace, and we also make sure that whatever has been agreed in Pretoria is fully implemented. There has been some progress, but the progress we don't believe is good enough. We still have a long way to go before we can say that everything that has been agreed has been implemented. But before that, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the French government for the kind of support it's been giving us, and I was more particularly excited to announce even this morning that the French have been particularly generous with regard to their support in improving livelihoods and ensuring food security in Tigray for a region that has seen the destruction of its infrastructure and the destruction of economic infrastructure, especially agriculture and other social infrastructure, healthcare and education. What the French have been doing is very, very, very important. And then in the provision of improved seeds and supporting in other areas that are meant to improve livelihoods in Tigray. Of course, your interest in healthcare and ensuring the rehabilitation of health facilities has also been quite significant. And I know the French government was particularly supportive of efforts in Adwa, in other parts of Tigray as well. And I have to express my gratitude once again for remaining consistent with regard to your commitment to supporting our rehabilitation efforts. And we know there are also other projects in which the French government has been closely involved, and that you will continue to remain involved in this activities. And I think this is a kind of exemplary contribution that others should follow suit, should emulate. As far as we're concerned, I know the French embassy and the French government have been in the forefront in this regard, and I would like to take this opportunity to just highlight the kind of support it's been. I know you have the Deputy Health Bureau Chief and the Agriculture Bureau Head, and he's the coordinator of the social sector on my behalf. And we know they have succeeded in changing lives, and they will continue to do so. What matters for us is not how big the amount is, as long as they have proved their mettle, as long as they have proved their success, it would be a whole lot easier for us to either scale them up once we are back on our feet again. But the kind of support the French have been giving is quite exemplary. And now coming back to the issue of the implementation of Pretoria, the first order of business was, of course, silencing of the guns. As far as we're concerned, in many parts of Tigray, that has been achieved. But in western, southern parts of Tigray, we still have a long way to go before we can say that security has been fully restored. We have, to a certain extent, achieved a very modest result in terms of repatriation of IDPs to northwestern Tigray in Tsellemt and Raya. But the largest chunk of IDPs have yet to be repatriated, have yet to be returned to Western Tigray. And the situation is untenable, because with hundreds of thousands of people living in squalid conditions and with dire humanitarian situations for the last 3-4 years, it is.
Are they staying mostly here in Mekele?
And there are in Magale, there are in Abi Adi, there are in Aksum, Adigrat, all over. Because in Shire, for example, there are more than 300,000-400,000. And the pressure, for a population of 180,000 people, to be able to support 3 times as many IDPs is quite untenable. Peace can only be maintained if there is a peace dividend. And when people feel that whatever has been agreed is going to come to naught, and then that would create or take away the disincentive to engage in conflict. So we want to deepen peace. Obviously, it is in the best interest of Tigray, but to have hundreds of thousands of people suffer in very squalid conditions, and for them to expect to consider the status quo a peaceful one, that would be a very difficult exercise to fathom. So what we insist is that the federal government should discharge its part of the obligation, remove the obstacles to the resettlement of internally displaced people in those areas. It has been stalled for quite some time now. We are engaging the federal government, but the federal government's responsibility is first and foremost to see to it that those areas are freed from non-Indian forces. Eritreans still occupy part of Tigray, which is part of sovereign territory of Ethiopia. People in Europe, a minority group in northeastern Tigray, live in a very difficult situation without any access to humanitarian aid and all that. So this is the part that deals with IDPs. And of course, we have refugees in Sudan who are caught in this rather nightmarish scenario in Sudan. And we're working with the international community and the federal government to effect the repatriation of refugees from Sudan to Western Tigray. It requires resources, it requires political commitment. So any one government or any one entity cannot achieve this feat. So it requires a concerted and coordinated effort on the part of both the international community, the federal government, and the Tigray interim administration in its capacity as responsible for resettling our IDPs. Political dialogue still is quite critical between the federal government and Tigray. We have to lay to rest whatever complicated relationship led to the conflict in the first place. We have to raise issues of accountability for crimes that have been committed. We have to deal with issues of reintegration of Tigray properly into the federal government, because Tigray doesn't have much in the way of say in the way of influencing policy choices in Addis Ababa. Even whatever international support there is, that's going to be extended to Ethiopia or to Tigray through Ethiopia. We don't have much of a say, so we have to find a way where Tigray is one way or another integrated into the system, so that whatever policy choices are made in Addis Ababa, which are going to affect us anyway, would somehow be either discussed or negotiated or somehow fully grasped by Tigray. So far, our relationship is as cordial as possible, but it's not always cordial because there are a number of issues we feel strongly about. There are also a number of issues they feel strongly about. So what matters to us is to narrow whatever differences there are, and the sort of political platform that's required to narrow those differences should always be supported by the international community, including and of course, more support is needed to strengthen social services in Tigray, because it's more and more appealing to people that when there is lack of amenities, people seem to disregard the whole notion of peaceful settlement of political disputes. But the most important issue is when there are economic opportunities for our people. In the area of the demobilization and reintegration of our combatants, I know France has been contributing to a certain extent, but so far we haven't seen any in the way of resources. And I know there is so much talk about the first D in the DDR process, which is disarmament. But disarmament should always be should always take into account the security situation on the ground. That's pretty much what Pretoria says. So for us, the insistence on disarmament is quite irresponsible unless it is supported by the demobilization and reintegration aspect of the whole process. You disarm and then you demobilize. If you fail to reintegrate them and if you fail to come up with the resources that are required to reintegrate tens of thousands of combatants, the whole exercise would not only be appealing but also counterproductive in many ways. But I can give you a laundry list of things that haven't been achieved. But the most important area is, while we will continue to work to build on the progress, we still would like to engage both the international community and those observers who are involved in the whole process, and the federal government and other stakeholders, to see to it that whatever differences there are, whatever unfinished business there are done in an amicable way, in as amicable way as possible. It's my hope and expectation that your support will always be there, and we'll call on other stakeholders, both in the international community and in the federal government, to remain committed to the fullest possible implementation of the Pretoria Agreement, and the sooner the better, because in many cases, when the process drags on, people have difficulty accepting the status quo, and the status quo as we see it is not tenable. So, but it is our hope and expectation that we'll wrap our head around this problem and then come up with a speedy solution to this crisis. Thank you once again.